G'day awesome people, and welcome back to TCG Tuesday. And you might have noticed there I stuttered a little bit on the very name of this series is because this series is actually part of a rebrand for the channel, therefore at the moment doesn't really have an official logo or anything like that at the moment, which is perfectly fine. As a lot of you may know at the moment, if you kept up with both my Twitter and the community tab at the moment, would know that last week was a complete write-off for me, which would have been the time that I would have been working on rebrands and all that, all because a little accident happened and it ended up having my wrist, my right hand, to be precise, which is my dominant hand I do everything with, in a cast, so I couldn't actually do anything for a week. So rebrand's kind of been pushed back for a little bit at the moment, plus a couple of other things which has pushed it back, which means this series is kind of a little bit bare bones at the moment. That is perfectly fine for me because I'm still fine to go ahead and record videos for this because, as a lot of you may know or may not know, I'm a big fan of the Pokemon TCG. I'm actually quite a big fan of TCG stuff in general. Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of want to get into Magic later on down the track, so if you got some way of like suggesting a way for me to get into Magic without spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. I mean, the easy thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment is there's a Nintendo Switch game that I can play, and it is absolutely hitting all the spots I need for all the tingles that I want for Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm perfectly fine on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Front, but for Magic, I do know of like Magic Arena that I can play with and all that gets like at least a taste of Magic. I've got an old Magic game as well that's very outdated that I can play as well if I want to play Magic. I've played Hearthstone, by the way, for those who are curious. It's quite an expensive game, even though it's free to play. But I digress. The whole point of this was I'm actually a big TCG fan, so therefore I've actually kind of dedicated a day to TCG. Therefore, if I do want to expand outside of Pokemon, I'm totally allowed to do that. So that's why it's kind of called TCG Tuesday, which originally was actually part of Thingamajig Thursday, but as I said, I wanted to really just dedicate a day to TCG, instead of kind of mixing it in with Thingamajig Thursday, which was meant to be a day of like pure randomness instead of like just TCG open. So anyways, I've rambled on enough. You guys have been seeing what's on the screen so far, and that's going to be a Detective Pikachu Charizard GX case file box. So these are really cool. I have to admit that I've been doing Pokemon TCG for a very long time now. Although I am going to admit in the last year or so I have kind of fallen out with the Pokemon TCG because I've just not had the expenses to keep up with it, and as you kind of would guess, doing Pokemon TCG collecting is quite expensive and very heavy on the wallet if you don't have the funds for it. But I want to get back into it because I've kind of got the expenses now to do it, with a couple of things going on behind the scenes and all that allowed me to do so, which is excellent. I can actually get back to it. I've got a big backlog of TCG openings to do, and I'm so sorry I just spat in the microphone just then. But anyways, let's get on to it. So you open it up, and this is a lot bigger than what my setup's allowed me to do at the moment. Alright, so it's actually really damn cool. As I was kind of trying to explain in that previous statement, was I've actually never seen a pack that is quite on the level of these particular things. Like, you can just have a look, instead of being like just a box you open up like the EX boxes that we had in the past and a couple of GX boxes that you see, this is just on another level. It definitely looks like something you'd find in a detective thing. So it's all set up like a box still, but it opens up like a book is what I was actually trying to explain. But of course I can't English. I can never English. Glasses on or glasses off. I still have either dyslexia or I just can't explain or just can't English. Now I've got to figure out how to open this without actually damaging the box. That's what I want to do, because I kind of want to keep a hold of the box, except it's looking like it's not going to happen. But before we try and figure that out, at least let's have a look what's actually in the box and a little bit of blur behind it. Alright, so a mysterious case in Rhyme City with Charizard EX. Time for some serious Pokemon sleuthing, because there's an amazing Pokemon detective in town. Celebrate the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, please stop this video, go see the movie, then come back and see this unboxing, because you have to go see that movie. Whether you're gonna, if you like the Pokemon series, I don't know. I was trying to explain something there because I've been hearing like mixed reviews, even though I personally really enjoyed the movie. A couple of people say it's not that good, then there's a lot of people who say that it is good, and a couple of people are saying it's average. I definitely would say go watch the movie and form your own opinion, even if you don't really know too much about Detective Pikachu itself, which, for those of you who don't know, Detective Pikachu actually started off as a Japanese exclusive demo for quite a while. Came out obviously first in Japan, Then it came out worldwide with the full game of Detective Pikachu, then that spawned a movie. And I will say I am a big fan of the game, even though I haven't finished the game yet, which I do wholly apologise for because I'm having a lot of technical problems behind the scenes, which is why Detective Pikachu and Pokemon Ranger have not come back as of yet. I actually generally cannot recall them at this point, but anyways, I digress. I like both the movie and the game, so that's my opinions. If you want to go off that, if it's still around, definitely go check it out. And if you haven't gone seen it, it's not around, definitely pick it up on DVD or whatnot when it comes out. It's kind of one of those you have to experience in your lifetime type of things. Hopefully that makes enough sense. Anyways, I've digressed a huge amount. I seriously sorry for the amount of digressing I've done in this episode. Where was I? With a Detective Pikachu movie, with a foil promo card and an oversized card featuring Charizard GX. Both of them prized elements of any Pokemon TCG collection. And that's not all, you can tear into 4 special Pokemon TCG Detective Pikachu booster packs, plus 2 additional Pokemon TCG booster packs to expand your collection and to uncover a few more Pokemon from Rhyme City and beyond. So that's really cool. So we get a couple of exclusive packs made just for the movie, which have a lot of awesome cards. I've actually seen a couple of them myself on the Pokemon trading card game online. And I've also seen a couple of pictures here and there as well on Twitter. So the case file includes 1 foil promo card featuring Charizard GX plus an oversized version of it as well, as we've already read in that blurb. 4 Pokemon TCG Detective Pikachu booster packs, English, where are you today? 2 additional TCG booster packs which you already know of, and of course 1 code card for the Pokemon trading card game online, which is probably going to be the deck box, the coin, and probably some sleeves from the top of my head. It may give you a Charizard GX as well, but normally it gives you that 1 card and a booster pack. Sorry, not booster pack, the sleeves and the deck box and the coin sometimes. That's normally what they give from my past experiences, so I could be very wrong. Alright, so anyways, let's now try and figure out how to get into this thing, because I've definitely blabbed on enough. I was actually trying to stall so I'd actually figure out how in the world I'm going to get into this damn box. I really don't want to rip into it, so I wonder if this is going to work. I've got a Stanley knife. There probably is a much easier way of getting into this, and I'm just really dumb and I can't work it out. So hopefully this works. If I just slice into that, and it should just come out from the bottom. I'm going to be really mad if I figure out how to do it afterwards, and then everyone, or in the comments section, everyone's going to tell me off because I've done it the wrong way. And it looks like I'm not going to be retaining that much of a box. So I'm just going to do this. If I should just slice there, and then slice. Ugh. Normally they're a lot easier to open. This one's just harder for some odd reason. And then just slide them out like that. Rip box! I thought you would serve me well. Okay, so there's all of our contents. That's just gonna fall on my floor. So from there we're just gonna take that off because my setup does not like plastic. So straight off the bat you can see the Charizard GX oversized card, which makes life a hell of a lot easier for me when it comes to showing it off. So obviously it's a stage 2 card, so to use this card you would need a Charmeleon card. In regards to art and all that, it's bloody wonderful. I love the general artwork for these cards. I'm not even going to bother describing my general thoughts on the artworks because as I said, this particular expansion is absolutely... I seriously want to see more of these type of artworks, the realistic type of Pokemon style. If they can bring that into future expansions, not just Detective Pikachu, which by the way there is another movie coming out for it, so I can't wait to open up the second movie booster packs by the way. Spoiler alert for probably a year or 2 down the track. But yeah, if they can expand into that artwork style, believe me, by that point just take my money. I'd throw my money at the screen in hopes that you eat it and I just get my cards. Alright, so in regards to the card itself, it's got 250 HP, it's just a pure fire type at that point. Its first move is Raging Destruction, requires 1 fire energy. Discard the top 8 cards of your deck. If any of those cards are fire energy cards, attach them to this Pokemon. Ooh, yeah. So again, I'm kind of referring to in unlimited format. I don't know about current format, so I've got no knowledge in that. So I'm going to completely ignore the current meta and just talk about previous metas. But there was cards that could actually bring back a lot of fire type Pokemon from the graveyard and just put them back either in your deck, I do believe, and shuffle them into your deck or something like that. but that can be quite handy. Otherwise, forcing cards into the graveyard, that's high risk, high reward type of thing, because you do obviously get to put fire energy cards onto Charizard if you do manage to discard any. Then its second attack is Steam Artillery for 200 damage, requires 2 fire energy cards and 3 energy cards of any type. Double colors would definitely be handy there. It has no extra effect, just straight up damage. And its GX move, which is 250 damage. Dreadful Flames requires the same amount of energy as Steam Artillery. Discard an energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. That can be handy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. Alright, so if you're using some type of strategy that works very similar to like Dragon Tail in the actual main games and just, keep swapping them around and away, or the opponents just set up energy cards on each of the Pokemon on their bench, that could be handy, just being able to discard an energy card from each of the Pokemon. I wouldn't say it's the most OP type of GX abilities. I've known way better ones. It's gimmicky in a way. I'd probably just use this Pokemon for straight up damage, just not its GX ability. 250 HP, yeah, it's kind of good for a Stage 2 Pokemon, I guess. As I said, there are way better GX cards. I'd probably be just using this one for a gimmick type of deck. That's probably about it, or just the fact that it's a really cool card. So I'm going to probably put this with my other oversized cards, which is somewhere in my office. Actually, for now though, I will put that to the side so we can have a look at that later maybes. There was a smaller card. Now I've got to figure out how to get it out, that is. Oh, the code's with it too, so we're not going to be looking at that. That's mine. So just gotta get them out. So there's the code. So obviously there'd be a QR code for that on the back. Scan that to Pokemon Trading Card Online. As I said, probably gives you like sleeves and some coins and probably this particular card itself. So if we just zoom in on that card, as you can tell, it's just basically the same as the oversized card. My light's definitely not liking this particular card. So yeah, there's basically the smaller card, which is the more playable version if you were to play this in leagues and all that. Oversized cards cannot be used in leagues and all that. Plus, I just didn't think in general you actually can't even do an oversized deck, which, if there is a way of doing oversized cards, that'd be bloody amazing. Be great for those who have seeing impairments, like myself personally. I actually generally can't see nearsighted these days. But yeah, that's the GX card in its normal size. And now, get rid of all this plastic again. It's unbelievable how much plastic they cram into these things. Is the actual booster packs itself. So this is the fun part. So obviously we get 4 of the Detective Pikachu ones, which only have 4 cards in them, which makes sense because the actual expansion itself is not that big, considering they only put a small amount of Pokemon in the actual movie, which I'm going to say straight up now, I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't put Martiena in the movie. That's only because I'm biased and I like Martiena. Alright, so the 2 booster packs, whoa, I'm way too zoomed in at the moment, let's fix that. Alright, so the 2 booster packs we got outside of the Detective Pikachu ones were KrimZen Invasion and Guardians Rising. I think for KrimZen Invasion I might have a booster pack, an actual booster box for that. Guardians Rising I completely missed, so they had like Tapu Koko and all that inside of it. So that'll be fun. Can't wait to dig into them. And of course, we have our booster packs here for Detective Pikachu. So without further ado, let's get into these bad boys. So of course, the very first thing I met is with how difficult booster packs are to open. No, they're not. They're actually quite easy when you know how to do it. It's just I have not opened up booster packs in a very long time, so I'm very rusty, as you can imagine. So first things first, you always get a QR code for Pokemon Online. So no showies there. And these are all foils, which is very nice to know. Alright, so let's see what we got. And that was a terrible way of putting down the cards because you already saw what the last card was. So first things first is Bulbasaur. And by the way, these are so cute in the movie. I did not expect Bulbasaur to be so cute. I like Bulbasaur personally, but to see it in the movie just made my heart sink. And made me cry nearly in a way too, just for how cute it was. Find a friend, search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It's kind of a real basic Pokemon. It's great searcher, great opener as well because it only needs 1 grass energy. Great for a mono grass deck or a mono green deck. So definitely well worth it. I wonder if they... I mean, if you could evolve it into an Ivysaur or a Venusaur, or even go into a Venusaur EX or GX, that is definitely a very handy card. I definitely would probably run it in a couple of decks if I could. Magikarp, hold still. Heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. or is that taking... Hold on, I've got to remember how this is worded. I'm pretty sure it either heals the Pokemon or it just takes damage from it. But regardless, does no damage and requires 1 water energy card. Most times Magikarp does very minute damage because it's a Magikarp. It doesn't do damage. Unless, of course, your name's Pibnite, then it does damage. We have Jigglypuff for 1 Fairy Energy card, Healing Melody, heal 10 for damage from each of your Pokemon. Okay, yeah, none of that makes sense. So Magikarp heals for 10, Jigglypuff heals 10 for each of your Pokemon. So kind of a great support. I think Wigglytuff in general now is kind of like a more supporty Pokemon. And damn, look at that Arcanine! Oh, look at that artwork! That is so cool! I'm actually trying to remember which part of the movie Arcanine's from. By the way, I forgot to mention this too. There's going to be no spoilers in this particular video in regards to the movie. I'm trying very hard not to spoil. But I'm personally trying to know where Arcanine is in the actual movie myself. But regardless, I'm not going to say anything anyways. That is a freaking cool artwork. Hot damn, this is what I mean. We need more of these in the actual expansion. It doesn't have to be related to any movies. Just change the artwork to realistic, just to change up the bloody artworks and all that. This is amazing. So anyways, ability security guard. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, all of your Pokemon take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks after applying weakness and resistance. And its only move is Sharp Fang, 90 damage. Requires 1 fire energy and 2 energy cards of any type. So again, double color. This is very nice on that one. 120 HP. Obviously just a pure fire type. Weakness is water with no resistance. Retreat cost of 3. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best Arcanine card, but just going off the artwork, it definitely is the best Arcanine card. Oh yeah. Then again, as I said, I'm a little bit biased because I really like the designs they did for the movie. And these are obviously straight, either screenshots or just CGI from the actual movie itself. So of course they're going to look bloody badass. So moving on to our second booster pack. So I'll try and do this one on the screen, but I bet as soon as I move on to the screen, I can't do it because I'm a nub at this. Nope, we actually got it. So another Magikarp straight off the bat there, and before I go any further, I have to do that. Get rid of the code at the back. So, again, we have a Magikarp. We've already looked at that one. We have a Molal, which I was not expecting in the movie because it is Gen 7 Pokemon. Generally, I'm not really too sure if the general audience would have known what a Molal is if they're a casual viewer. Or, actually, now that I say that in regards to casual viewing, I'm actually generally wondering how many people in the audience, like if they had no prior experience to Pokemon, I wonder how many of them were watching it going, what in the world are these? And didn't realise like there would have been like massive amount of lore behind some of the Pokemon that they were actually watching. I would have been just generally like interesting to see what they would have been thinking during that movie. Alright, anyways, moving on. Sleep Spore for 10 damage requires 1 grass energy. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Pretty basic attack there for a basic Pokemon, especially a grass type. Look at the Snubbull! Snubble's actually kind of cute. I was not expecting Snubbull to look so grumpishly cute as it does. So play rough, 10 plus damage, 2 energy cards of any type required. Flip a coin if heads, this attack does 30 more damage. So base 10 base 10 damage, but can do 40 at absolute max. If you flip heads, which in my case, it's always going to be 10. And look at that beautiful Machamp. I will admit in the movies, Machamp is actually kind of funny for how they kind of like depict Machamp. Out of all the roles, they give it that particular role. It's funny. 160 HP is kind of nice on it too. Okay, so the card straight away kind of just gives it away. Directing traffic for 1 fighting type energy card. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put them back in any order. Yeah, unfortunately that was a bit of a spoiler. Machamp in the movie is actually a traffic control, or one of those people that directs traffic, so he'll use one arm and going in one direction to say stop, and then another arm, of course, calls out the cars to go that way, which, I mean, it is kind of handy because Machamp has 4 arms. If it's like intersection of 4 ways, Machamp would be really good for that. Kind of doesn't really, utilizes Machamp's fighting ability, but yeah, at least good enough. I mean, it's realistic in a way, I guess. And its last move is Cross Chop for base 80 damage for 2 fighting energy cards. Flip a coin if heads, this attack does 60 more damage, so that is a whopping 140 damage in grand total if you can flip the heads. I mean, heck, even for me, who can't flip heads all that much, 80 damage is still quite nice. I mean, heck, it might make a bit of a difference not flipping that heads, but you know, I've kind of gotten used to that. Every time I see like a base type of damage it can do, or a potential type of damage, I just look always the base. I'm like, yeah, that's good, because, yeah, if you ever watch me play Pokemon TCG, I generally just don't flip heads, which is why I tend to avoid those type of effects that require head flippings. Never happens. Right. Take that. So first card straight off the bat is Psyduck. Its only move is Panic, with 10 damage being dealt, and the Pokemon is now confused. Makes a lot of sense because it is a Psyduck and you poor guys can't see it because I can't camera work at the moment. So Psyduck, it's holding its head, it's just about to have a massive headache. Oh yeah, Psyduck actually plays a big role in that movie too. Malol's our next card, Snubbull is the next card after that, and we actually got Detective Pikachu himself. We got the Deadpool Pikachu. First move is Scout. Your opponent reveals their hand. Kind of handy in a way because it means you can scout it whether or not you can use a discarding card at that point to get rid of their hand or not. I mean, as I said, this is obviously going to be a very gimmicky card. It could always evolve into a Raichu, I guess. And its last attack is Surprise Attack for 80 damage. Flip a coin. If Tails, this attack does nothing. In other words, for me, it does nothing. If Tails... Yeah, no, it would be doing nothing for me. And 3 energy cards of any type for that particular move. So that means that's our third pack down, last pack remaining, and I bet you this is the one I'm going to struggle with opening. I did kind of get it, it just never ripped. So take that out. 4 booster pack codes there for me. And of course our first one is going to be another dupe, which is Malol. Then we have Snubbull, Psyduck. And we actually got the normal Charizard, so we had GX there, and now we just got a normal Charizard, which still looks pretty fancy. It looks like it's using Flare Blitz there. 180 health, so a little bit, of course it's going to be a little bit lower than GX, so GX is like the upgraded version of a Pokemon. And then we have its first move, Slash, for 70 damage, 1 fire energy card needed with 2 energy cards of any type also needed, so double color us there to make it easier. And its last card is Wild Tackle for 180 damage, 1 fire type card, energy card needed, 3 energy cards afterwards of any type needed as well, so 4 energy cards in total. I'm totally not explaining that properly at the moment. This Pokemon does 50 damage to itself, so it will go out in 4 attacks if you keep using that one. So, I mean, it's obviously not as good as the GX card as you would imagine. But as I said, I would probably just end up using the Charizard GX just purely for damage rather than its GX move. Steam Artillery for 1 extra fire energy card does 200 damage and no recall damage to itself. But if that card is still legal, which I'm pretty sure it's not, there is actually a fire support card. It's an item card you can whip to any Pokemon that does recall damage to itself, and it negates recall damage. So, I mean, if you're playing unlimited format, you could always throw that on Charizard, and Wild Tackle will not do 50 damage for itself. So for 1 less fire energy card, you could potentially end up using that Charizard. But as I said, I'd probably just go for the extra fire type energy and just play the Charizard GX. And with that, we're going to move on to one of the non-movie booster packs, which is Guardians Rising. As I said, I don't think I've got any cards from this at all. I may have 1 or 2 from a couple of booster packs I've opened. Wow, that actually ripped apart. And the last time I did this, everyone told me off because I was like, oh, why is there no consistency in these type of cards? Well, I actually generally can't remember which one's what, but I'm pretty sure this is the bad one. I'm pretty sure the other design is actually the good one. Basically, these kind of like mean if you got a good pack or not. Which kind of sucks, because all you can do is look at that and figure out, oh, this is a good pack. Whereas in the old days, you kind of just go off and be like, hey, yay, surprise, I got a decent card. So it kind of takes up the surprise element, which, as I said, is kind of the main reason why I like doing these. Right, first up, Tentacool. So, basic Pokemon. And then we have a Clefairy, Litwick, Gligar, Vanillite, a reverse hollow nose pass, that looks pretty cool. And our actual rare for this deck is going to be Oricorio. So this is a non-foil, so of course that one did mean bad, because the other design means it's going to be a foil or better. So Supernatural Dance for any energy card of any cost. For each Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Ooh, that's interesting. If there was a way of like being able to, or if you could mass discard on the opponent's side, knowing that they had a ton of Pokemon in their hand, that could be quite a handy card, because then you could do, say if you got 10 Pokemon in the opponent's discard pile, which is, again, very situational. It may not happen, but when you obviously knock out a Pokemon with 3 stages, that's 3 Pokemon that go straight to the graveyard. So that could work. It could be very gimmicky, as I said, but it is very interesting. And of course, its last move is, of course, its signature move, Revelation Dance with 30 damage. Any energy cost there for 1. If there is no stadium card in play, this attack does nothing. So it requires a stadium card to actually do damage. Alright, not as good then. We do get a Fire Energy card, which is great. Enhanced Hammer is our item card. Discard a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. Quite handy because that gets rid of double colorless. And any dedicated energy cards, I think there's like Herbal Energy, then there's obviously like your Blend Energy, Rainbow Energy, those particular cards, this particular card actually gets rid of, and it's no flip effect or anything, which is great. Aqua Patch, attach a Water Energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched water Pokemon. Oh, excuse me. Very handy for water decks. And Weeping Bell for Muddy Acid. So that's a uncommon card. So that's our Guardian Rising pack, which means we have one last booster pack, which is the KrimZen Invasion booster pack we got. Let's slide into this bad boy. This is actually kind of an old booster pack too. Like, this was around last year, I do believe. So as I said, I'm kind of surprised to see this particular booster pack making a return. And for this one, we got a bad one. That's alright. As I said, I'm not too fussed because I like the surprise element. May not be foiled, big whoop. I still like seeing the cards regardless. So we got Jangamol. I got Carablast. Phoebus. It looks like the Phoebus from Detective Pikachu, but obviously not in that particular style. Then we got a Salandit. Got Cubone. Our reverse holo is a Scavalier, which is a rare as well. And our rare is going to be a Registeel inside of the Aether Paradise Research Center. So that's really cool. So Turbo Arm for 1 Steel Energy card or Metal Energy card for 30 damage. Attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So again, a way of recycling cards from discard back to your bench Pokemon. An Iron Head for 2 Metal Energy cards and 1 energy card of any type. 90 damage. If Regice is on your bench, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. I think off the top of my head, I actually do remember this in some way. This card kind of relies on the 3 Reggies being in your deck or something like that, which is gimmicky in a way, but could kind of work in a way. Not really. It's combining so many energy cards, it's not funny. Psychic Energy, Cincino. We got Alolan Graveler. And our last card, by the looks of it, is the last card. Devour Field. This the attack of Dark Pokemon and Dragon Pokemon, both yours and your opponent, do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So that's kind of cool. Dark and Dragon at that time would have been Guzzlord mainly. And Devour Field actually kind of works with Guzzlord too. And with that, that is going to be the end of this unboxing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm just trying to gather up all the booster packs, the cards we opened up. Quite a lot of cards considering, as I said, it's a very small expansion that the Detective Pikachu is. Of course, there is our GX card. And pop! There is our big oversized GX Charizard, which is really cool. I mean, competitive wise, as I said, just straight up damage. For GX move, I'd probably use something else. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that one, and next Tuesday there will be another unboxing for Detective Pikachu. I'm very late to the party, as you can kind of tell, but I honestly don't care. I only just recently got these because, mostly in Australia, they stick around for a couple of months. It's easy to quite pick them up if you're not on time, which is great for me personally. But anyways, as I said, next Tuesday we'll continue on the Detective Pikachu. So until then, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!